Welcome to Rhythm and Roads, everyone. I'm your host, Joshua Jacob. We have a very special guest. We have writer, director, producer Ryan Rocks. Welcome, Ryan, to Rhythm and Roads.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be part of this amazing lineup of people you've been having on the show.
Oh, thank you. It's been such a blessing. I never thought I would get to this point of interviewing so many creative actors and filmmakers and just incredible talent. And just I'm just blessed to have everyone want to share the story with me. So I'm like, oh, thanks.
Yeah, thanks for giving us a platform too. Not many people do.
Oh yeah, no problem. Yeah, and this platform is for you to share your story and every story matters and your story matters. So inspire the next filmmaker, inspire the next actor, those that because not every journey that we have, which you know of, it's easy. It's there's obstacles, there's roadblocks, but you've made it, you're here, and congratulations by the way for Hidden Flora making it to the Las Cruces International Film Festival. That's a big achievement, so congrats.
Thank you. Yeah, we're so excited. We were trying to finish it in time for last year's, and it just didn't work out.
Mm.
And Ross was like, "Okay, you can always submit it next year, and if it makes it, you can come back and be a hometown hero after your festival run." So that's exactly how it worked out.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, at least, like they say, there's a reason for everything. So this time around, it was meant for this year. So yeah, cool. Well, I always ask every filmmaker and director just their story, their journey on how they got started. So who or what inspired you to pursue filmmaking?
Yeah, I think when I was younger, I was very enamored with like the Academy Awards and the Golden Globes, red carpets,
Oh
and the
yeah.
glamour of it all. And I just wanted to go to Hollywood and become an actor. And so that's always been in the back of my mind. But I'm like,
Yeah.
but I live in El Paso, Texas. I live in Las Cruces. That's not a thing. You don't do that there. So it won't. It's not for me.
Mm.
And it actually was Ross Marks who brought like George Lopez and
Oh
everyone
yeah.
else to Cruces, and there was an open call for background actors, no experience required. So I was like, I want to do that, and so
Wow. Okay.
yeah, I was like, I'm on a set with Billy Boyd and
That's so
Christopher
cool.
McDonald, and this was so wild. And I
Yeah.
think that's when I caught the bug, I guess, and realized that the bug could be here in New Mexico. And so um, I kind of started there with acting, and then in the pandemic, I think I was on the set, my friend's set. We were in the desert, and it was him, the writer director, and his friend who had the camera with like an
Okay.
iPhone, and and me, and us three just in the desert. And I think it was that moment that I was like, this is all it takes to make a movie. Like I think I can get two friends.
Yep.
So I took the time of the pandemic to write my first film, Crawl, and yeah, it was kind of an opportunity to hire my friends and get some real footage as an actor, and
Wow.
and becoming something that I fell in love with. So I'm kind of on the fence of which one I love more, but I love telling my own stories and having that creative control, but I also love acting. So sometimes the two worlds merge. And yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that's why you'll see me in a lot of my own films.
Yeah, I hope so. And then thank you for sharing your story on that. That's pretty interesting how from watching the Oscars and all that to the point of saying, "Hey, there's a opening role to be on the set with George Lopez as an extra." From there, you're working with friends in the desert. And it's true. You don't need a huge 15, 30, 50 crew. Just a few friends, your camera, a good mic, some lighting. You're good to go.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think that's important for people to take away. That really like you just have to have a voice and a story and something to
Right.
say, and the rest is all semantics. Like everybody has a camera in their pocket, and
That's true. Yeah.
so it's really everybody can do it at this point in the the way technology is. It's
Oh
quite
yeah.
accessible to anyone. So.
All right. Yeah, true. And I do want to ask, what was your first project that you worked on of your own?
Yeah, so the first thing I wrote and directed was a film called Crawl,
Oh,
and
okay.
it was I don't know this was like a huge undertaking that I still to this day probably wouldn't even try to do. So I'm glad I was very ambitious and naive at the time, but
All right.
a period piece that took place in 1970s Chicago
Oh,
that
wow.
classic film in 2020 Las Cruces. It's like, how is that going to work?
That's
How are we going to
interesting.
get the costumes and the cars
Yeah,
and
yeah.
somehow we did, but it was a huge undertaking, and I learned a lot on that side.
And it's called Crawl?
Crawl, yeah, it's technically marketed as a horror film, but you kind of find out it's about more than meets the eye, and
Interesting. Okay.
it's about how it's a commentary on how serial killers are often glamorized in media and American culture,
Okay.
and technically we glorify and remember the serial killer's name, and there's movies made about them, and there's
Mm,
books and everything, and then we forget the actual victims, but they're real people. And
right.
this film is about a serial killer that took the lives of 33 young boys and men. And I mean, today they're still making documentaries on Peacock and stuff like
Oh,
as
yeah.
recently as 2021 about this guy that took these lives. And I can't imagine anybody could name a single one of the 33 boys and men that lost their lives in the 70s to the hands of this man. And so it's more of a commentary on that, disguised as a horror film, because sometimes you have to advertise it to get butts and seats, and then you change their mind that
Right. They're just like, oh, it's not what I expected, but it was good.
way. So that
Interesting.
one's on
Okay.
YouTube if anyone wants to watch it.
You said it's on YouTube?
Yeah, it's very
I have to.
DIY. Not my best work, but I'm so proud of it. It's my first
Yeah. I mean,
movie.
I don't think anyone's first, well, anyone who's starting out in film, like just, as a student or anything, I don't think their first is always the best. It's just the way you're discovering yourself, you're learning. You're just, you're in the awkward stage and then you go into the learning and then the instinctive. So yeah, I mean, I've
You
done my
gotta make
little,
your you gotta make
yeah.
your best one first and get it out of the way. A lot of people are worried about perfection with their first
Right.
one. It'll take years to make it. And it's like,
Oh
well, you
yeah.
gotta do it and fail, and then you learn, and then you fail again, and you just get
That's
better
right.
every time.
Yeah, it's kind of like cooking, right? You gotta cook some stuff that you don't know and you try, you're like, ah, and then later on you try it again, you're like, ah. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know, that was a good example, but cool.
I don't cook at all, so I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm sure I'm sure that
I'm not a
that
chef, but I've definitely had my share of trying things out. I'm like, okay, that worked. Oh no, I'll never
yeah,
do that again. Anyway,
genealogy.
so I do want to get into a film I believe you directed. It was shown at the El Paso Film Festival about 2 years ago. What was the name of that film?
So I had a couple. There was one called That Tingling Sensation and one called Shipping Them.
Okay, because the one that I saw with my brother, because he was premiering his film there too, was there was one like they were, I think, secluded in um if this is right, like a little town or mini, I don't know. It was like, and I was, and we saw it, and it was directed. It said directed by Ryan Rox, and I was like, oh wow, that's a. And then my brother was like, that's a great film. It,
Was it like very colorful
yeah, yeah,
and
colorful.
about like my like gender journey and
I believe so, but I remember there
the
was like,
shipping containers?
yes, shipping
Okay, yes, the
containers,
shipping
that one,
them
yeah. I
for
was like,
sure.
that's very creative how it went from like shipping containers to live in, and I was like, that's cool. I never thought you can even do that.
Yeah, actually, the way that things happen with crawl, I was shooting outdoors so much, and I didn't realize that you need permits, and there's
Oh
people
wow.
in the street yelling, and there's cars passing by, and it just isn't conducive to sound. So
Oh, it is.
while we were doing crawl, we had set up an Airbnb that we just got for people to get dressed in and get
Oh,
ready.
cool.
I was looking around the Airbnb, and I was like, this is a cool house. Like I could picture a movie in here,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so I made a horror film in that house because I was like, this is available because we just have to rent it. And
All
so
right.
from there, I think I was like, I'm going to start making films in houses where you can control the sound, and preferably like my own or my friends or an Airbnb where you can also kind of nobody's going to tell you, okay, you need to leave or anything like
Yeah,
that. So,
right.
so
Yeah.
I think it actually came down to just scrolling through Airbnb and saying, what's a cool house that's here? And I stumbled upon the shipping container house, and it was both of them that you could rent. And I was
Wow.
just like, I'm going to write something about these
Heck
shipping
yeah.
containers. And so it was a location before script deal, which is I don't think is pretty common. But
Wow.
yeah, so it wasn't like I'm going to write this story about shipping containers and then try and find them.
Yeah.
It was definitely the Airbnbs first.
That's cool. And my brother and I really enjoyed it. It was a really cool film. Yeah, and so those Airbnbs do exist where they were like containers, right? You could actually
Yeah,
like,
you would think they would be like advertising,
well,
like ads
yeah, it's
being
like,
on, but it's the opposite. They tried to kick us out. They tried to extort us for more money because they saw
oh,
cameras, and the lady came by and was like yelling at us and saying like,
really?
"Oh, Beyonce's sister stayed here before, and
Oh my God.
expertise, and I know how much money you all have, and you're gonna have to give me $500 cash more and have it by the time you check out." And we were just like, yeah, yeah, sure. So I was gonna say a bad word, but my awesome producer, Jessica Enman, as I know you know, was like, no, I'm gonna call Airbnb and find out. I don't think this is right. So she called Airbnb and said, can she do this? And
Yeah.
like, no, do not give any money under the table. Everything needs to happen to the app. And I was like, she was like, okay, good. Then we're not doing that. And so what happened was she was allegedly going to come at the end of the night, the last night, and collect her money. And so what we did before the last night was right after we finished filming, we cleaned everything, we took pictures, we locked everything up, and we like snuck out in the middle of the night. And
Wow.
she tried to like complain on Airbnb and say, we did this and that. But at the end of the day, she was just trying to extort us because she thought we had a bunch of money just because there was expensive camera
Oh
equipment.
my God.
And so
What a
definitely
trip.
we almost put in the credits like, and no thanks to this lady, but we
And
decided
no
not to do
thanks to, yep.
that. Right. So I don't,
Man,
maybe the Airbnbs are still there, but maybe after that, she's like, I'm over
man.
it. And maybe she racked up the prices. But yeah.
Now she's gonna be sharing the fact that your guys' film was filmed there. Oh, there was a film that was made here, so my prices are up now because there was
Right.
a film
Now
shot here. This
she's
is,
gonna get
one
that
of
money
those.
somehow.
Yeah, there, she's gonna be giving tours now. Yes, and there was a film that was created here, and then it's like,
On your right, LC.
thanks
Yeah.
to you.
Right.
That's funny. Well, let's get into. Well, thanks for sharing about that. That was a really cool story to know about that film. Let's get into your latest film, Hidden Flora. What is that one about?
Yeah, I've always had trouble like just giving the elevator pitch, but I was thinking about it last night. Like, okay, well, it is about my life, starting as a teenager, going through my formative years, my formative like relationship building years, and as a queer kid, dealing with dating people secretly, and in a way where I didn't feel celebrated like the other kids, and um, so it's yeah, it actually covers it takes place over 7 chapters in my life and
Wow,
seven
seven?
different yeah, so it's 7 boys and men
Hmm.
that kind of impacted me the most in
Okay.
in the relationships. And I think the original title that I had written was The 7 Boys and Men That Changed My Life.
Oh, wow.
And I
Interesting.
thought it was really wordy, and also I think somebody mentioned, "Are you really going to make the whole title about them and like not you?" And
Right.
you're giving them the credit, and like they changed your life, but it wasn't in a good way. And so I was like, "Yeah, you're right, you're right." So Hidden Flora refers to me being the one that was hidden away, but that hopefully if you watch the movie, you find out whether that flower blooms or not.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay. Do you have a trailer, by the way? I was
I do have a trailer. Yeah,
okay because I need to check it out because I haven't seen it.
yeah.
Send it my way.
For sure. My DP actually cut the trailer,
Okay,
and
cool.
so it's awesome. I love it.
It's very interesting how our life experiences inspire us to do shorts. You know what I mean? Certain people come into your life for a reason, to teach us something, to it could be good or bad, I don't know. But here I've had my share. I mean, I haven't done short films about it, but I've had stories that where I'm like, this could be a potential movie. This could be a book. I don't know. just something, of all of us going through our own journey. You know what I mean? And so interesting that you used your experiences in the past for this film.
Yeah, yeah, and it's we were able to because it's actually a feature film, so it's like an hour and a half.
Oh, cool. I'll bring popcorn to
But
make sure I watch it.
yeah, no, for sure. But the last couple like shipping them, not changing sensation, they were pulled from like my everyday, my life changing experiences, and
Mm,
before I didn't have therapy until after hitting Flora.
okay.
And so I had never experienced therapy. And so my films were like the way I was dealing with some of these like tougher topics and therapizing myself through that, like
Yeah.
reliving these hard moments and being able to make something good out of it,
Mm,
and also being able to go on tour with them and be able to talk to people that say I can relate. Like I also had a dad that didn't approve of me, and I also have trouble talking to my kid about their
mm,
gender and their sexuality, and so those things have been really helpful for me, dealing with trauma from the past.
right.
So this last film, I used to explore stuff I'd never talked about to anyone,
Wow.
not even a therapist. And I was like, I just don't want secrets anymore. I just want to be transparent so that I don't have all this weight by myself. And
Wow.
if that means being vulnerable, then so be it, because it might help someone else that needed this
Yeah.
film. Like when I was younger, if I had seen a film like this, then maybe I would have gone down a different path. Not to say I'm not grateful for everything that's happened to get me to this point,
Right.
but sometimes it's dangerous. Like there's there's times when the character, based on myself, was is their life is being threatened and they're on the verge of death, and so it's a real thing that I don't want people to go through if they don't have to. So
Yeah.
hopefully this one changes lives in a good way and prevents um, the negatives that happen to me in my life.
Well, thank you for being strong enough to represent that in the film of your just the journey you've been through of just the heartache and just certain things that you couldn't even share with, the therapist, and here you're wanting to share it to the world and just wow, that takes a lot of strength and courage to do.
Yeah, thank you. And
Yeah.
I mean, one of the scariest people that I wanted to share this film with was my mom, because
Oh
it
man.
was weird. Like I tell her everything, and she, is my everything. And so
Yeah.
for her to not know these parts about me was tough for me. And
I
so
bet.
before the film came out, I was like, "Mom, can we sit down and watch this together?" And she kind of um, was thinking about it as, if I watch this film, it'll confirm to me that I failed you as a parent because these things
Oh wow.
happen to you and I let them happen to you. And so I understood where she was coming from, and I talked to my therapist that I
Mhm.
finally had after the film was done, and she was like, you can't force her. You just, if she wants to, she does. And so we finally came to a point where she said, okay, I'm going to go to the premiere. I'm not gonna watch, or I'm not gonna talk to you. I'm not gonna talk to anyone. I just want to watch it, and I'm gonna leave, and we can talk about it later. And I was like, that's fine.
Really? Oh wow.
So my mom ended up coming, and I was like not paying attention because I just thought she's gonna leave. I didn't think she was still there. But
Yeah.
I ended up putting a note at the end of the film and dedicating the film to her. And it was
Oh
like, to
wow.
my mom, I kids hide things from their parents all the time, and that doesn't make you a bad parent. And I guess my mom saw that in the film, and she was crying in the back of the theater. And Jessica and Jimenez and Junius Robinson, I know
Yeah.
they're like consoling her and hugging
Oh.
her. And then they like brought her to me, and they were like, "Hug your mom." And I turned around, and my mom was just crying with her arms out. And I was like, oh. And so we just had this beautiful moment of like,
Oh, that's
she
beautiful.
saw it and she knows all these things about me now, and yeah, it was amazing. I was very grateful for that.
Wow. And wow, that's just amazing. Just the fact that at the end you were there to embrace her and just hug her.
Mhm.
Um, wow, thank you for sharing that. You're grateful to have your mom. I lost my mom 4 years ago to cancer, almost 4 years, and it just sucks. Every day I miss her, and I just wish she saw what I'm doing now just for the community in El Paso, Las Cruces, and just So just the fact that your mom got to see this and and you guys had that moment, it's awesome.
Yeah, I'm sorry for your loss.
Oh, thank
I
you.
I lost my dad when I was 16. And so that really brought me and my mom closer. And yeah, I think I saw something a couple of days ago because my friend, her father just passed away. And I saw a clip that made me think of her situation and mine even. And it's like, whatever you believe in, you know, they will always live on with you
Right.
and with what you're doing. And you mentioned cooking, but something like that was the example, which is like, well, if they taught you a recipe or they taught you how to play guitar or for me, that my dad told me this joke uh, that like when people say I see, I say like said the blind man, and I just like it's like those little things that you're the person that you lost
Yeah.
left with you or instilled with you. That's the way that you're still carrying them through the world, and so they're never truly gone, even in your reality. But I'm sure you know that because I know. Um,
I no, I agree, and that's why I wear this. This is
yeah. Uh,
this is her fingerprints. So, in case
um,
anyone throughout the year and a half wondered, because I always wore this in my interviews, they're like, "What is he wearing? Is he part of the military? Is that military?" No, this is my mom's fingerprints. So I always have her with me.
that's beautiful. I love
Yeah.
that.
So every interview, I know she's not physically here, but she sees what I'm doing. And
Yeah, and
and
I'm
I
pretty
believe,
proud of you.
thank you. And to what you're saying, it's true. I really feel like what my mom gave me was just her unconditional love. To be the light, to be there for others, to support others, and just use my talents to something good in the world, And so she always was that type of person to love so many people, even strangers. And real quick, one time I took her to get her hair cut and at Supercuts, and this was in Henderson, Nevada, and right after her, she didn't have much hair because of the cancer, but the guy was like, "Your mom is so cool." Like I've only spoken to her for like 30 minutes, but it seems like I've known her for like years. I'm like, and she just had that effect, you know what I mean? And it just sucks because I wish she could have had more effect with so many great people I've met in my life lately that they would have just fallen in love with her. Like, oh my God, and it just sucks, man. So you're truly blessed to have your mom. So.
Well, they're falling in love with the part of her that's instilled in you and the light that she gave to you to be sharing with the world.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Yeah, thank you, Ryan, for that. And I really appreciate you sharing about Hidden Flora. I really look forward to seeing this film. When is it actually premiering at the festival?
On Saturday, April 12th at
Oh,
1:30.
cool. The 12. Okay. Yeah, actually, well, I'll be there because I'm also there to see my friend Lester Reynolds.
In three
Yeah, 3.
at
Yeah.
the same time. I'm so sad.
Oh,
I
cool.
see it also.
It's actually so it's like back to back, 3 and then yours.
They're playing at the exact same time in different theaters. So people are gonna have to
Oh,
make.
different theaters. No
Yeah,
way.
I know. It's
Oh man.
yeah. I know
That
Natalie was very
sucks.
like adamant about wanting to program as much as she could. So it's
Yeah.
like things have to happen in order for everyone to get their
Oh
film
man.
screen. But it's just unfortunate because I know a lot of people work on both of them.
It's like I'm gonna have to flip a coin now. Okay. Which one do I
This
actually?
is the second half
Those,
of Flora, the first half of three.
I know, right? Be like 30 minutes and then drive to the other theater, all burning rubber, cops following behind.
Well, they're probably going to be like next to each other, so you just run from one side
Oh
to the other.
man, I didn't. That sucks.
I
I wanted to
know. I
see.
wanted to see three also.
What's up?
I wanted to see three
Oh,
also.
you
That's why.
did? Ah,
And
man. I'm like, I wanted to see 3 and yours. I'm like, can we just come together? Oh man. Well, I guess we'll figure it out. But well, I mean, is
we're
there a
gonna
way I could see it even after the premiere? I mean, are you gonna have it
um,
on YouTube or?
we're looking into a mini local theatrical run,
Oh, are you?
and
Okay,
we're
cool.
also aiming for some streaming plans that might be coming news
Sweet.
coming
Oh,
soon.
nice. Congrats on that.
Thank you.
Can you say who might like which streaming company or not yet?
I can't yet.
It's top secret still. All right, cool.
Top secret.
That's all good.
But it's
Bye.
it's
Well, once we find out, let us know. But I'm not saying, I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna say because I know Lester will watch this and be like, well, what show are you going to, or which movie are you going to then?
No,
I'll
Lester
be like,
knows
look,
what's
well,
going
just
on.
when the time comes, if I'm there at 3 or yours, I'm gonna still support both of you. So
We'll get a cardboard cutout like this one of you, and we'll put it in Hidden Flora's audience.
yeah, there you go. Yeah, you could do that. I do want to get a photo with your poster when I'm at the festival. Are you gonna have a certain area to do like photo shoot opportunities or?
Yeah, I mean, I want to bring the poster. So maybe if you're going into three before you go to that, you can take a picture with
Yeah,
me and
yeah, that'd be cool. But
yeah,
are you gonna be like? I see. I'm still getting to know where all this is gonna be at. So, is it gonna be at the New Mexico State University theater where everyone's first going, or are you gonna be at that other theater where your film's gonna be at when everyone's at another one? You know what I mean? I don't know where all this.
yeah. I think most of the movies will happen at the Cineport 10 theater, and
Okay.
so there'll be just like multiple theaters that are going at the same time.
Oh, I
And
see. Okay.
so, maybe there's 10 screens, and
Okay.
so three will be in three maybe, and I don't
Oh,
know
I see.
exactly which
Okay.
one. But you just look at the program, and since they're at the same theater at the same time, with whether you go to ours or theirs, we'll be in the same hallway.
Oh, I see. Okay. So I thought there were probably like different locations, like near each other from different theaters or something like that.
Yeah, no,
That's what
like
I.
the actual movies, they're all in the same place. I
Same
think the
place.
only difference or the only thing at NMSU is like the Helen Hunt speech.
Okay.
Um, and
That's
that's
the only
free,
difference.
I think. And then even the award show is at the Rio Grande Theater Saturday
Oh,
night.
okay.
But I think everything else is at maybe like the VIP parties, like that's somewhere. But the movies will be at Cineport.
So I'll tell you what, now that I know, I will
Yeah.
go to both. I will see both, and I will make sure of that. I will sneak out, sorry, after like 30 minutes, and then go look at yours or vice versa. Yeah, because I mean, even if I'm not up close, at least I'm in there watching it, and yeah, because that's fair. But I'm glad they're all in one location, just different theater rooms. So
For sure. I think it's a good problem to have. There's two films from Cruces that are premiering or playing, and I
yeah,
think that's just awesome. At least it's not like, I don't know, there's not enough films to play, and there's too many
there's
Cruces
too
films.
many, man. There's too many. Yeah,
Who
I
would have
agree. Well, before we end on our podcast, I really appreciate you, Ryan, for coming on. What advice can you give the future filmmakers and the actors, those that are in school right now, wanting to pursue this? Just your experience.
Yeah, I think, yeah, don't let that idea of perfection stop you
Mhm.
because honestly, your first one will not be perfect, and you don't want it to be perfect because you want to grow, you want to get better, you want to learn from failing,
Yep.
and nothing's a failure. If you complete a film, that is a huge accomplishment in itself.
Right.
And whether it shows at one place, like at your house with your tia, and your mom, that's still an accomplishment because you finished the film and you
Yep.
made something with community. You learned things that you can never learn anywhere else, not in a film school
Mm.
or on YouTube. Like actually doing it
Yeah,
is
that's
really
true.
the only way that you figure things out that you would never find in a textbook. And there's also so many resources that we have here in Cruces and just locally. There's so many people you can reach out to. Go to things like the Wrap that Filmos Cruces puts on every month. If you need to crew up, there's so many talented folks that go and they want to help. Me myself included. Just reach out to your film community and make your film. Just do it. And there's also I would be remiss if I did not mention that I am a co-director at a local film organization called Fem Frontera,
Oh,
and
okay.
we support women and gender expansive filmmakers. And
Okay.
so at every stage, so like Ian's film, we have this thing called the Pitch Fest, and
Hmm.
Ian pitched the film to a group of people in El Paso, Juarez, and Las Cruces at the same time virtually.
Wow.
And
Okay.
that's where they met Ross Marks, who became their executive producer.
Oh,
And
nice.
they ended up making the film
Yeah.
because, I mean, partially because of us, but because, we had an opportunity for them to say their piece and meet people and realize that people were interested in the film and wanted to see it be made. And I think that hopefully gave them that push to say, this needs to be made.
Hmm.
and let's do it. And now it's playing at the film festival, and it's got completed films already. Is
Yeah,
a huge thing. It's also a beautiful film that us at Film Frontera love so much that it's gonna be in our film festival later this summer. So
that's awesome. All right. Great advice
keep
too. Thank
it,
you for
keep it
sharing that.
safe.
And you're on point on that. I like the fact that you said just take action. Just that's how you really learn, and it's true. If it's like yes, you learned this, you heard this, but once you're in the moment, you're actually doing it, and that's how you really tweak the certain things about yourself. Of like, okay, what I need to fix. This is what I didn't like, and that's how you grow. You know,
Yeah.
it's
And on
true.
set, you're going to run into hurdles that you're like,
Yeah.
no, I didn't plan for this. And that's when you learn how to pivot
Mm.
and accept those things that you can't control and also realize that there's happy accidents sometimes. Sometimes it ends up being way cooler than you could have imagined.
Right.
The thing that you thought was a hurdle ends up being something that people appreciate.
Exactly. And have fun doing it too.
Yes, honestly, I'm glad you said that because people take them so seriously, and I don't think there's a single reason why anybody should be mad and yelling on set. It is a movie. Like,
Right.
you
It's
don't
like,
hurt people's feelings or hurt people in any way, emotionally, physically. It is a movie.
right. Like, yeah, let's not go around killing each other, guys. Like we're shooting a film. God.
Let's take care of each other more. Like, let's get
Oh my
intimacy
God.
coordinators and films with intimacy, and let's get you know
Yeah.
control of firearm people that are armorers. Yeah, I'm not gonna get into that, but yeah, let's take care of each other
Yeah,
more.
just please take care of each other. Make everyone feel good, please.
Yeah,
All right. I do want to address something real quick. Something about that. For those that have seen that movie Hook by Steven Spielberg. You've seen Hook?
I think so. A while back, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting because now that you mentioned it about, or how we talked about how there's sometimes drama and just unnecessary drama. I was told that the reason why they don't have any behind the scenes or really the making of this film Hook was because Spielberg said it just was really bad
Um,
working with some of the actors. And like in a way that's like there was too much drama, there's just too much going on. And so they just, nope, we're not gonna pretty much do any behind the scenes on this. And it's sad. And I think for what I did read that Julia Roberts was going through a breakup or a divorce at the time during the film. So she was very emotional and I guess it was just hard to work. Maybe I don't know. That's what I heard on the interview. And I was just like, golly. So
uh,
it's just, I'm not saying that everyone, we all have our problems and all that, but I mean, it's just interesting how this really, I thought it was a great film. But just the fact that what went behind the scenes on that, just, nah, I guess not everyone got along. And it's just sad. You're like, for such a cool film like that?
yeah, I've also been around like actors that have been divas, and it's like, why? What is the point of this? Like, you never know who's on a set and what they're going to be later on, or what they are
Right.
now, until they have. Like treating a PA like crap. It's like, what if that is the next Steven Spielberg? Like, and
Right.
he's gonna remember that and
Exactly.
remember how you treated him, and he's gonna be like, yeah, I'm not hiring you next time. So it's like treat everyone nice. Doesn't
Yes.
above the line, below the line, PA should be treated the best because they are literally making like the least and doing the most work. And, but yeah, there's no reason. Like
Yeah.
nothing really, no matter how famous you are. I've seen plenty of A-list stars be the nicest people in the world. So there's
Yes.
no reason for people to be evil. I don't
Yes. I agree. Well said. Well, I do want to ask you this before we close. I know I always say, well, before we close, I'm going to have something else, but no, this one I want to know. So, what is your favorite film that you really look up to of just like, oh, I love this film. It's one of my favorites.
think. It's hard to ask a filmmaker for one. That's why
Okay,
Letterboxd is
one of
four.
them.
But no, I will give you one. I love Call Me by Your Name. That is my
Call Me
go-to.
by Your Name. That sounds familiar. Hmm.
Yeah, it's a
Why do you like
Luca
that one?
Guadagnino, 2017 film. Timothy Chalamet, one of his first major films. He
Okay.
was Oscar nominated for it, and it's just such a beautiful like. Besides the problematic part, which is like it's a love story between like a 18-year-old and a 40-year-old.
Oh,
But besides that, like it's a beautifully shot film. The story is beautiful. The idea of coming of age of someone and how dire it is when you're 18 and in love. Like everything has to revolve around that, and it's heartbreaking. Everything's so dramatic and
Uh,
powerful emotion. And there's a conversation at the end that gets me every time. I saw it like a month ago, and I've seen it so many times. But the dad tells the son when he's going through his breakup, we give so much of ourselves in the
mm,
beginning when we're young that by the time we're 30, we go bankrupt of love. And we
wow.
have less and less to give of ourselves. And
Dang.
it just hits so hard every
I
time. It
did.
makes me cry, especially now being in my 30s. I'm
Oh
like,
my
so
God.
cute.
Oh, that hit hard. Yeah, just hearing that part, I was like, oh, wow, that's true.
Gotta watch it. Watch it.
Dang. Wow. Okay. Well, thanks for sharing one of your favorite films. Appreciate it. Um, well, thank you, Ryan Rocks, for coming on Rhythm and Roads. Congratulations again for Hidden Flora showing at the Las Cruces International Film Festival, April 12th. And I will, yes, be there to see yours and three. I don't know how I'm going to
Thank
do it, but I'm
you.
going to do it.
Yeah, we get two faces at once.
That's right.
Everyone.
And I look forward to meeting you in well, I met you in person at the film festival in El Paso, but we didn't really have much words. It was just like a quick hello, but this time we're gonna have a lot to talk about. So
Yeah, I'm excited for that picture.
excited too, especially for the VIP after parties. They're gonna be fun too. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. I'm excited too.
All right, Ryan. Well, thank you again for coming on Rhythm and Roads, and we'll catch you guys on the next episode.